Hi guys, my name is Christine, and today I'm talking about how to get over a devastating breakup. So basically, if you've gone through a breakup and you feel really, really bad about it, and you feel really sad, you feel devastated about it, you feel heartbroken, right? If you've really gone through it, you really loved them, they ditched you basically, you feel awful, how can you get over this, right? So the first thing I want to talk about is giving yourself time. Like, please give yourself time. You're not going to get over it straight away. Okay, you're never going to get over it straight away. Okay, especially if this was a long-term thing, and you really do feel devastated about the breakup, that you really didn't want it to happen. You need to give yourself time and be patient with yourself. Just because it seems like everyone else moves on from their relationships quickly doesn't mean that they actually are, right? Because I feel like there is this sense of, oh my god, they just broke up, but he's dating someone else, or she's dating someone else. How can they got over that relationship so quick? What happened, right? So what you need to remember, and you probably saw this kind of thing on social media, right? Or you heard it from someone, right? Just because you've seen it on social media, just because you've heard it from through the grapevine, right, doesn't mean that it's true. These people still might be crying themselves to sleep every night, but they just don't post that on social media. Nobody posts on social media when they're upset. Well, sometimes they do, but like they don't, they're not going to show you like the 2 hours that they spent crying. They're not going to show also like looking at their ex's pictures and stuff like that, the amount of time that they did that. Like, they're not going to show that kind of thing. So just trust that people don't get over relationships quickly, because they don't. They don't, unless it was a really short-term fling and it was only someone you went on a couple of dates with, or it was only someone that you was with perhaps for a week or a couple of weeks, right? Yeah, you can get over those quite fast because there's not as much investment. But if this was someone who you loved for a long time, let's say like maybe like about 4 months plus, right? Even though I guess it depends on how intense you felt about them. So that's probably more of an indication than the time frame. But obviously, the longer you were with someone, the more that you didn't want the breakup to happen, the more devastating it's going to be with you, right? So another thing about like this feeling of devastation, this feeling of sad, like deep, deep sadness, right? What you need to understand is that the reason why you're feeling this way is simply because reality is different from what you want. Right? So what's going on in your life is completely different from what you want it to be, especially in terms of this relationship. You want to be with them, but they don't want to be with you. That's reality. And that's why you're suffering, because you want reality to be different than what it is. So that's kind of like what you need to understand. Become aware of that fact, right? Become aware that the reason why you feel horrible is because you want something that's gone. Right? And your life is different now, right? So understanding that can sometimes help. Like, oh, the only reason why I'm feeling this way is because I want reality to be this way, but it's actually this way. Like, I'm kind of fighting against reality in a way. But you have to kind of come to terms with that. But sometimes that can take time. Coming to terms with that takes time. So give yourself time. Don't be hard on yourself because you see other people breaking up and it seems like they don't care. They probably do care. There's probably at least one of them that cares a lot, okay? And just because they're not showing that, just because you can't see that, doesn't mean that it's not going on under the surface in their private life, right? Maybe the case that the person that broke up with you is still devastated, right? And they might have jumped into a new relationship or something like that, but they could still be really sad and devastated about it. You just don't know. So trust that you are feeling devastated and you need time. And don't expect yourself to get over this quickly, because it's unlikely that you will, especially if you do feel devastated about this breakup. Okay? So another thing that I can tell you to do is obviously to keep busy with things that are good for you, that are actually going to help you get over it, right? So that means spending time with your family members that make you feel good, spending time with your friends that uplift you, working on your hobbies, doing the things that perhaps you couldn't do as much when you were in that relationship, the things that you used to love doing, focus more back on those things, doing things that are healthy for you. So that means exercising, eating the right things. It's important that you do these things and you don't burn the candle at both ends, because this is what a lot of people do when they break up. Basically, they go out and they go binge drinking, They change their whole life, basically. They cut their hair in a different way. They get, you know, you always see people who have a breakup and they always like change their hair and getting like a new wardrobe and stuff like that. And it's something that I used to do as well when I had breakups as well. So I completely understand why they did that. But again, it's burning the candle at both ends, because you're not doing things that are good for you. Getting really, really drunk or doing whatever, you know, bad for you, binge eating, whatever it may be, just, you know, it's not good for you to do that after a breakup. Sure, you know, you can let off some steam, but don't go overboard, because usually you feel regret for those things. Like, you think back, oh, I wish I hadn't behaved that way, or I wish when we broke up I didn't go on that night out because I got really, really drunk and I felt ill, or I ate too much and I felt really bloated and fat and I didn't feel attractive, or I made a spectacle of myself. I got too erratic and enthusiastic because I was overcompensating for what was going on in my relationship. You know, calm down, be calm, be still, do things that are actually good for you. Taking walks, seeing your family, meeting up with friends that aren't going to drag you out and make you do things that you don't really, what you shouldn't really be doing, right? Do things that are nourishing for you, not things that are going to be burning the candle at both ends. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Do things that are actually good for you. Okay, that, like, working on your creativity, your hobbies. It might be journaling, something like that, getting your feelings down on paper. And I really recommend that you do that after a breakup, getting your feelings down on paper, because I think it really helps process it. And also, you know, if you don't want people to see it, then you can just burn it, or you can throw it down the toilet if you're worried that your family's going to find it, your kids are going to find it, whoever, you know, or you could write it on a Word document and then just erase it, you know, something like that. You know, just write it down on paper. Get it down. Get your thoughts, get your heartache down on paper, and then get rid of it if you don't want someone to find it. It's pretty easy to do these kinds of things. So the next thing I want you to do is try to learn from it, right, as well. And this is something you could do while you're writing about the breakup and the relationship and things like that. And basically what you want to do is you got to figure out, well, what went well in the relationship? What did I do well? Because it doesn't matter what they did, really. What matters is what you did. So what did I do well in the relationship? Like, maybe I was really giving. Maybe I gave it 100%. Maybe I tried really hard, you know, to do these things. Perhaps I was really attentive. Perhaps, but then on the flip side, you say, well, what could I have done better? And you think, well, maybe I was a bit too needy sometimes, or perhaps maybe I was a bit too distant and cold, and I should have been more open, you know. And thinking, okay, so in the next time I'm in a relationship, when this happens, you know, when I'm dating someone and I find someone I really like and we start that relationship, you know, all the good things I'm going to carry with me, and I'm just going to like let go of the rest, let go of the things I did wrong, you know, learn from it and grow from it. Because I think breakups are actually a really transformative period of someone's life. I think sometimes it's like one of those moments where it kind of makes you or breaks you, and I've seen it happen on both ends, right? Some people have broken up with their spouses and it just devastates them for the rest of their lives. And there's other people who have really learned from it, really grasped from it, and tried to become a better person because of it. So sometimes it really breaks or it really makes someone, right? So it's a really transformative event. So I want you to have the right mindset. I want you to be someone who really learns from it and realizes that, hey, you know, this could be the best thing that's actually ever happened to me. And I had that transformative moment when I broke up with an ex about 7 or 8 years ago, right? I'm so glad that breakup happened. It sucked at the time, but now looking back, I'm so happy that it actually happened. I'm so grateful that it didn't work out. And I was really upset about it. I was really messed up about it. But now I'm really, really happy that it happened, because I wouldn't be with the person I'm with now. I wouldn't have, had all these amazing experiences. I wouldn't have got into personal development and things like that like now. I wouldn't have learned the knowledge about dating advice, about relationship advice, about, breaking up with your ex, those kinds of advice things. I wouldn't have learned about that stuff if that hadn't have happened. Right, so it was really transformative for me, and I learned from it, and I want you to do the same. Like, realize when you look back in like a few years' time, you're going to be so glad that this happened, especially if you do have like a growth mindset and you really do want to learn from this. So basically, that's my advice on, how to get over a devastating breakup. You, first of all, give yourself time. Understand that you will get over it, and at some point in your life you're probably going to look back and be glad that it happened. Okay, so give yourself time. Don't expect yourself to get over it instantly, because you won't. Just be kind and gentle with yourself. Give yourself time. Focus on those things that are truly important to you. Don't burn the candle at both ends and start doing crazy things that you see a lot of people doing, like getting into rebound relationships, going out all the time with their friends, and not being able to then focus at work and all that kind of stuff. Focus on those things that are really, really good for you, that nourish you, and if you do that, you're gonna be fine. Journal about it. Do what you can, basically, to get it out of your system. And I hope this video has helped you. If you're like coaching with me and you're like help with me personally, because obviously there's only so much I can say in these videos. I don't know your personal story. I don't know 100% what your circumstances are. So it might be the case that I need to tweak information for you related to your own personal struggles. So if you would like help with me, then please go to www.christineloveridge.com, and I shall talk to you again very soon. Goodbye, guys.